for joining us.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're super happy to have you.
Oh, sorry. I'm having
Oh, hey, Will. and also hi. I know you guys
Yes.
don't say his name on the podcast, so I don't want to dox him, but hello, person whose name I know.
We're about to dox him
I'm
next episode.
90% sure
Oh, okay.
that we've said his name on it.
Oh, okay.
And sorry.
No,
Did
it's
the good parent thing and went to an event at the library that went over long, so I had to walk home and leave them there, and so he picked up lunch on the way. It was a whole thing. It's good. I plan things very well.
No, it happens. Yeah. Yeah, no, but thank you guys for joining us. You want to tell us, for our listeners who have not heard your podcast, a little bit, give us like the elevator pitch?
You want to take it, Amanda?
Sure. I can. So we are a folklore podcast. We tend to focus on, the creepier side of folklore, but we try to look at the similarities between different cultures' folklore around the world. So we'll pick a topic. I will cover bits of folklore. For example, we did a mermaids episode. So I covered some absolutely ridiculous mermaid myths from the United States and North America, specifically from Kentucky, Indiana, and the Ohio River area. And Corinne covered mermaids from elsewhere in the world, and that's how we tend to split our episode topics. And I am rambling.
No, we encourage it.
It's all good.
That's the whole point of a live stream.
Amanda, that's why I asked you to do it, not me.
No, you guys have genuinely really great content. I can't talk. I was looking through my Pocket Cast yesterday when we were setting everything up, and I think outside of discrete audio dramas that have a beginning and end, I think you guys are the only podcast I've listened to literally every single episode.
Thank you.
That makes me happy to hear.
Yeah, no, it's really great. I love how in depth you guys go with the research and everything, and your banter is really good. So it's a really fun listen.
Would love to go more in depth.
Yeah,
I feel very surface level with what we cover, but it
is what it is.
Yeah.
While we have day jobs,
alas,
we can only do so much.
Gotta get those Blue Apron sponsorships, right? Bombas socks, all that kind of thing.
I mean, I am not too good to shill things.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, no.
I'm very bribable.
Speaking of spooky Appalachia shirts.
Hey,
I love that.
That's so cute.
No, it's in Redbubble. Honestly, the material's really nice.
The shirts too. I'm not wearing one, but
yeah, I'm actually wearing that too. I've got, because I wasn't sure if I would have to take the hoodie off because the office is the hottest room of the house. But no, the Redbubble stuff's really nice. Honestly, I get most of my shirts from there in general, even when they're not branded with our stuff. No.
Oh, here's one.
I love the last few episodes, the bookstore, the ad for the horror bookstore you guys have had. I don't know is it your friend who's reading it, but she has a real Wednesday Addams vibe on the reading. It's genuinely a really nice ad read.
It was so good. We had to use it multiple times. I was like, Amanda, can we keep playing this?
Yeah. It's great.
It was so wonderful of Jenny to set us up with Laurel Hightower for that interview that we did, and to, let us use the space. And Jenny is one of those people who's just good at everything she attempts. So in case you couldn't tell from that ad read, she's done theater before.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to diminish how hard she works, but she's good at everything she tries.
She puts a lot of effort into everything.
Horror book, right?
Do what?
Laurel Hightower, yes, wrote the Mothman horror book Below, which, if you are a fan of horror, if you're a fan of body horror, you need that book. Poor Corinne is not a body horror.
I'm not a horror fan.
Yeah, yeah. That was one of the questions I had written down, and we can get to it now.
Okay.
Why, Corinne? Why did you do this to yourself?
Okay.
Because for those of you who haven't listened to
You
your
freaked
podcast,
out
she's
about
not a horror
I have
fan.
a baby.
half the stories, right?
I've had literal nightmares. I have had to call my therapist. So here's the thing. Amanda, a couple years ago, started reaching out to me because I work in marketing as my day job. And she's like, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. What can you tell me about what I would need to market myself? So I was like, okay, I will put together a list of recommendations for you. And that's what I did.
Okay.
And she's talking more and more about what she wants to do. And I was like, yeah, it sounds like you'll need like a 2-person show to really achieve what you want to do. I think this sounds great. I hope you have so much fun. She's like, hey, do you want to be my second person? And I was like, sure, I guess. And then I was like, wait, shit, horror. Oh, no. Oh, no.
We did end up toning the horror down from my initial thoughts and plans.
Some of that is on me because I was like, hey, you've asked me to look at this horrible thing. I'm going to come at it from more of a sociological bent. And I'm going to be like, oh, here are all the sad reasons why we tell these kinds of stories.
Yeah, we've sort of done like the same thing where like I think the stories we've found most interesting are like cataloging people's experiences and sort of like collecting folklore from people in the community around Appalachia. Like it definitely like once you get into it, that I think tends to be like the most interesting thing.
Absolutely.
Rather than just the like the straight up horror.
Yes, I agree.
Back to the episode you guys did with Laurel Hightower, though, I was really happy for that because I feel like I was a late comer to liking horror because we're all around the same age. We grew up in what I think was maybe like the worst period for movie horror, like the
Yeah.
kind of through the noughties, like all that like final like it was. I was never a horror fan growing up. I thought it was so stupid. But then like I started kind of I don't know. I had a friend in who I was in my PhD program who was like really into it, and he sort of forced it a little bit down my throat. So then then I started kind of discovering better stuff. So like but it's hard when you're in a situation like that. I feel like like kind of trying to pierce down into like a medium. So yeah, I was really appreciative of like the recommendations because it's like a fantasy book. I know where to find a new fantasy book.
Yeah.
Horror, I have no idea where to start.
Well,
like,
and something, at least in my experience, that has worked for me finding new horror is going outside of the traditional, big four publishers, at least for horror books. Horror movies is a whole new thing. I think we're in a fantastic golden age of new horror movies coming out.
Definitely.
Personally,
Things I will never watch.
Oh no, we're trying to figure out when my husband and I can go see Megan.
oh, is it good? I hadn't heard anything about it.
I've heard that it is an absolute wonderful wild ride.
All the reviews that I've read have been overwhelmingly positive in a like this is just good campy horror.
Yeah, and that's what it's set out to be. So,
and they've already announced a sequel, so
they have, yeah.
Oh, really? So it's been doing well then.
Yeah, I look at that and I go, what if I don't watch this? And I just read all of the reviews that come out.
I think that looks good. I think obviously this isn't news to anyone who watches horror movies, but I think Ari Aster's horror movies are phenomenal. I loved Hereditary. I think Toni Collette was robbed of an Oscar win for that one. I think Midsummer is gorgeous and horrific and definitely something Corinne should never watch. And I'm so excited for his new one. I watched the trailer. I think Beau is Alone. That's what it's called. I watched the trailer. I have no idea what's going on in it, but it looks amazing. And again, like something Corinne should probably never watch.
Probably never.
I know my limitations. I don't enjoy panic attacks. I do like sleeping through the night.
Those are both good things. No, I don't blame you at all, for sure. Yeah, I do sort of tend towards that campy. Like, I think my favorite horror movies I've seen so far were like the movies Peter Jackson directed in New Zealand before he made Lord of the Rings. I think the U.S. version is called Dead Alive. Like, it's called Dead Alive in the U.S., but it's called something different in the original title. But I don't know
Yeah.
if it popularized like the killing zombies with the lawnmower or invented it, but it's definitely like the sort of keystone for that. But it was goofy.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
Oh,
goodness.
hello, person from Kentucky. We're in Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, so
Oh.
for those of you who don't know, they're from Louisville, so a lot of their stuff is I think you guys have a few Louisville centric episodes,
We
right?
have,
Like
yes.
the
Yes.
graveyard one. Yeah.
So the graveyard one went kind of all over Kentucky. It's just we happen to have two cemeteries here that have some pretty storied pasts. No, I was lucky enough to go to high school in downtown Louisville. And in my honors US history class, our teacher took us on walks throughout downtown and just talked about the history of Louisville for certain days. Basically, if she didn't want to teach what she had planned and it was a nice day outside, we went for a walk around downtown Louisville for that 45 minutes. And, we learned about the Bloody Monday Rebellion, which was, a horrific attack on all of the Irish Catholics and Irish German immigrants by the right-wing party of the time. Then, like, so many of the churches that were around at that time no longer exist because they were all burned down.
Wow.
That Monday, we talked about, the Brown Hotel. We talked about the Lady in Blue ghost at the Seelbach Hotel. Just different things. The Brennan House was right by our school, and that's another place that it's like a gorgeous, well-preserved Victorian home. You can have events there. It is also reportedly incredibly haunted. And, we just got to do fun things like that. So I'm incredibly lucky, and I draw on things like that. When we come up with an episode topic, I'll be like, wait, did we ever talk about this in Doc Hall's class? I should check that out.
So what you're telling me, and it looks like we do have a tour guide in the chat, but next time we come visit, we should go on a ghost tour. Is what you're saying?
Yes. No, there are so many ghost tours in Old Louisville because it is the largest intact Victorian neighborhood in the country. So there's all sorts of ghost tours at Christmas and Halloween. I think there are some year round, but those are the ones that really jump up. There's, ghost tours over at Pope Lick looking for the Goat Man. There's Waverly Hills. I mean,
oh yeah, that's the
no,
no, you're not.
No.
Why?
See, I actually have a fun personal story connection. My grandma talked about how growing up, one of their neighbors was a nurse at Waverly Hills, and knew a couple of patients who had succumbed to suicide while there. And, even when it was in operation, apparently it was one of those things where there were certain hallways you didn't want to go to by yourself at night. There were certain hallways that you just didn't want to go to by yourself in general because you would feel someone watching you.
So here's the thing. Not one, but two of my great aunts died of tuberculosis in Waverly Hills.
Really?
Yes. So my grandparents were very, very old. My grandfather was born in 1905.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, two of his sisters passed from tuberculosis. And at the time, they didn't really actually understand much about the disease when his sisters died. So I remember my mom telling me that my grandma shamed my grandfather into stopping smoking because she was like, 2 of your sisters died of tuberculosis. Do not fuck up. Oh, shoot. Do not mess with the lungs. You told me not to swear, and I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. We were doing the game stream the other day, and like something happened, like that was just weird in the game, and I just like I straight up let out an F bomb. But we just have a lot of kids that watch. That's all good.
So I'm trying not to. I'm trying so hard, but yeah.
No,
so
no.
I know if I ever go to Waverly Hills, I'm getting haunted. Ghosts are gonna follow me home. I'm not doing it. I'm not going there.
See, I'm still half convinced that there was a ghost that followed you home in your old car when we drove through Cherokee at night.
Yeah. No, every night.
So
every time.
Corinne and I have been friends for almost 20 years at this point.
16, I think. We were at 16 years because we met my sophomore year, your freshman year.
At Bellarmine, yep. So we've been friends for a while, and I forget why we would be driving at night through Cherokee on a semi-regular basis.
You were high schoolers, like it, yeah.
No, we were
in college.
No, it was Seneca, right? Yeah,
Amanda, I know what it was. It was when I would drive you home from the dance studio.
Yes. Okay.
I would cut through the park, and I swear to you, on the reg, we would make this one turn, and it would look like there was someone in my backseat.
And both of us saw it every time.
Like 100%. And while I believe in ghosts, I am a skeptic. But that was such a regular thing that I was like, so I hate this.
Yeah.
How regular did it get before you started choosing a different route home from the dance?
Oh no, we just went that route because it never did anything to us. So.
Yeah. I don't
just
know.
It's fine.
If I were in a horror film, I would be the person going, that's a weird sound. I should go investigate.
Yeah.
I have been known to go running along the random cemetery in the park by my house. I remember I was running by myself at like 6 a.m, and it was back at my old apartment. And there was this park that had this beautiful tree-lined avenue. And I'm running, and it's foggy as hell. And it looks spooky. The sun is not up. And I'm jogging, and I'm like, this is like the start of a horror movie. I'm going to die.
I do this. I see anything, and like I chased a bear through the woods with my camera once because I want to get. Like I have a broken fight or flight response.
Okay,
just a fundamentally broken.
You go fight, flight, or friend.
Yeah, those are your fight, flight, or friend, and it's mostly friend.
I understand. If not friend, why friend shaped?
Exactly.
However,
I mean, my dog is bear shaped. And my methods work across taxes, so there you go.
This is why we're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I need someone to edit the podcast, so you're not allowed.
I got to know where I rate.
Hear me out. If you do, make sure you haunt your editing room. See.
Oh, yes. Isn't that how you want to? That's how you want to spend your eternity, fighting with Audacity.
Oh, yeah, me too. It's free though.
I got mad last night. I got mad. I almost threw the laptop.
Oh no.
But it's done. It's edited. It will be live tomorrow.
Yay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we have another interview episode.
Oh, cool.
Tomorrow. So
wow. Moth Mistress is right. Fun. Jimmy is going to be the only one left alive. Amanda might survive.
I don't know, because I actively moved into an almost 200-year-old house. And the first day that like we had the keys and we walked inside, my husband and I said, we will feel cheated if there's not a ghost here.
Yeah.
So
this is the kind of house you die.
I just almost stopped my drink on my keyboard, Amanda.
Corinne, we've had this discussion. If one of us is talking, the other one cannot take a sip of a beverage.
That's so true. So true, bestie.
Oh man, yeah. You guys have you guys definitely have like. I mean, it like for a haunting, like you guys could your I think I've seen at least pictures of your Halloween decorations, and your house plays the part like very well.
We try, and our Christmas decorations trend that way as well. Like we've got a black Christmas tree Our op got us, my husband got us custom stockings made. So like my son's stocking has a bunch of spiders on it because spiders are his favorite. And mine is skulls with Christmas hats, and
That's awesome.
his are some pumpkins with Christmas lights on them. I don't know.
His favorite before the spiders was Bones, right? I remember last time we came to visit, he would do the dance with the
Spooky
Mr.
Scary
Bones.
Skeletons.
Yeah,
Yes.
Scooby Scary
Yes.
Skeletons. Yeah.
That is still a bop.
Okay.
But spiders were there before Bones and will be there after Bones.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, you're getting him started early, though. He's gonna take over the podcast when y'all retire.
I have not done any of it on purpose. But like his favorite book right now is C is for Cthulhu. It's a whole thing.
That's awesome. I just saw Willett. Sorry, I didn't mean to start. I just saw Willett like slowly nosing into the office on the camera. The number of times I've had to try to keep a straight face during the meeting where you can clearly see Kartoffel in the camera behind me, like.
I love Kartoffel though. He's such a good baby dog.
He is. He did great. He's in therapy dog class. I have to brag on my dog for a minute. And the test I thought he was gonna have horrible issues with, the test I thought was for sure gonna fail us when we went for Canine Good Citizen, was the neutral dog. First time we practiced last night, he did it right 4 out of 4 times.
I love a dog with a job.
Yeah.
Good boy.
And that's his thing, is like he's a complete dope when he's just running around the house. But like, yeah, when you give him something to do, he's generally pretty focused, especially if the thing that means he gets to see like toddlers and old people, which are his 2 favorite genres of people.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. He did love my son when he was over here.
Yeah.
And my son thought he was a panda, not a dog.
Yeah. I mean, if the shoe fits, he's got the full mask, and he's.
I mean, my best friend and I used to ride not greyhounds. What were those things? Great Danes.
Great Dane, yeah.
We used to ride those like horses. Got in a lot of trouble for it.
You really shouldn't do that to their backs.
My mom has ridden him before, not on purpose. He does a thing where he tries to like go between your legs, and my mom was 5'3" at her tallest, and she's 65 now, so she's shorter than that now. And he tried to do that to Grandma and ended up getting Grandma on his back and going across the living room. Whoops. It was
Whoopsie doodle.
Yeah. So yeah, he's no stranger to that. Cool.
Oh,
so
Kartoffel.
Yeah, we digress. So what are some of y'all's favorite topics you've done so far?
Ooh, good question.
Is it the one on the Appalachia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything we do is our favorite episode.
Everything you do is your favorite episode.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely not true. We've done somewhere I'm like, why did I do this to myself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like our Christmas episode.
Oh, I loved that.
I didn't.
That was good.
And again, Corinne did that to herself. I am not that mean of a co-host. Sometimes I am. But she's the one who suggested Christmas ghost stories.
I actually did. It was a mistake.
Every time I hear her say, I did this to myself. I did this to myself. I don't know how many times I've heard that listening to y'all. It's like every other episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, as we go along, I'm like, oh, this sounds like a really fun topic. And then I start reading it and I go, I hate this.
Yeah. I agree with y'all's reasoning though. Like I love spooky stuff in the winter. Like I read almost like no horror during the summer or anything like that, but you get to winter time and it's like that's all I want to do or listen to.
It's dark. You can't really go outside if it's cold. Gosh, especially I'm sure for plenty of us now this past Christmas, you couldn't really go outside for anything.
I had COVID, which you would think means I wouldn't go outside, but the dog was so worried that he wouldn't go outside without me because he didn't want to leave me. So I had COVID in like 4-degree weather walking around the loop of my yard trying to get the dog to poop.
See, now I will say, when I do read horror, which I don't do often, but I will occasionally read horror novels, it's in the summer when it is oppressive and you have that atmosphere weighing on you. And it could be because I read a lot of Southern Gothic.
Okay. Yeah, that sort of makes sense. I get that.
Yeah, like that oppressive atmosphere, and I'm like, it's time to give myself nightmares again.
The nights are shorter. The nightmares can't follow you as long.
Exactly. That's good reasoning, actually, in terms of... It's like, good. You're only going to make it from like 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. Here we go.
I got this.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
And then that jacket on the chair can't look like a person. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Like some of the I've had that experience with this of like you start to, you know, you get in this headspace and then you're just like walking around like just you like jumping at every shadow. No, I definitely get that.
I don't know. I guess I'm just dead inside because I love reading horror and watching horror and then going to sleep and sleeping well.
It does have
me either.
Yeah.
I think it's because I got into it at such a young age. I was like watching horror movies and playing the Resident Evil games when I was very that stuff scared me then, and I was jumpy back then. But I mean, it doesn't do anything to me now. I'm just like, ooh, that's creepy. That's about it.
It's cozy in the winter, I think, when you know you're at home and you don't really have to go anywhere and like the heat's on and like, you know, you feel you're sort of simulating having to like go out into like the cold dark night. I almost feel like that's always been as much like rationale as I can put on the feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Phil, do you ever get creeped out by our stuff that I write?
I'm trying to think. Oh no, I told the story on the last live stream of like when we moved into this house. I was wigging out for like 3 weeks because I had put like every time I would go into the laundry room, the laundry pods were in a different space, and I walked in while the laundry machine was going once, and I had put the rack too close to the laundry machine, so it was vibrating and moving the thing around. I scared that I was walking around because our house was built is not nearly as old as Amanda's, but it was built in '66. Only one family owned it before us, and at least one, possibly both of them died here.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, of like old age, not of anything like bad or spooky or anything like that. So,
but still,
yeah.
You know, if you subscribe to the residual energy,
exactly, yeah,
theory of ghosts, it doesn't matter.
So
what happened.
I was definitely like the whole time.
I would have been freaking out.
It was. Because there were a couple other things too, like there were a couple other things that were like easier to rationalize away, like, you know, a bunch of stuff on like my dresser would be knocked over, but like, you know, it's a narrower bedroom, the dog's big and his tail goes, so like I would see stuff knocked over and like it would be my first like reaction, but then I was like, okay, it's just the dog, it's fine, it's just the dog.
Yeah, I'm very much like, okay, what logical thing could have happened?
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that initial like, oh god. And I'm like, wait, I have cats.
Yeah.
And they're loud and they knock everything off of my dresser.
And they're really just like ghosts in general. Like any sort of it's more or less the same. They you can feel a presence. Yeah.
We do joke, like we'll see the smarter of our two cats staring off into space like, and we're like, you see ghosts, buddy? What's over there?
Oh yeah, cats believe in ghosts. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Whether or not ghosts exist, cats believe in them and see them frequently.
Dogs believe in ghosts, but it's usually just like their back half.
When I first moved in here, I was living here before I got married. I just bought the house, and like for a week or two, like the cabinets downstairs were open. I don't know. At least
Oh yeah, if you have old cabinets, and
and then they would just shut in the middle of the night and wake me up. I'm like, what the crap is that?
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
Our front and back door will pop open if they're not locked because of like changes in the air pressure.
Okay, yeah.
Scared. I was in the kitchen. It was a work day, and I had gotten up. I was getting ready to make some lunch, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Why is my kitchen so cold?"
Oh.
And I look over. The door is cracked open. My idiot cat is like peeking out the back door, and I'm like, "Don't you do it?
Yeah,
don't you do it." And so the only explanation is that, we must have unlocked it to take some garbage out and forgotten to relock it.
Yeah.
And it just popped open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scared the bejesus out of me.
It's like, I hope this was me and not something else. It's like, I really hope this was my mistake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's happened with our front door, like, at 3 a.m.
Ooh.
Which is
great.
Horrifying. And, like, I don't want to wake up my husband and be like, babe, I need you to check the house.
Do a ghost tour real quick.
See, this is why you need a Ring camera, so that you can see when actual scary things happen. Like, gosh, back in, I think, July, our dog was barking his head off at like 2 a.m. one Saturday night. And we're pissed because it's loud. And so I just go downstairs. I let him in the backyard. He starts freaking out in the backyard too. I bring him back in. I'm like, I don't know what is wrong with you. I need you to be quiet. And I go back to sleep because, as we've established, we will all die in horror movies.
Yes.
Exactly.
Except
Jimmy. Jimmy's fine.
Yeah. And my phone was on Do Not Disturb, so no messages coming in. The next morning, I go and pick up my phone, and I just see like 6 notifications that our front door had opened. And closed and opened and closed. And so first I run upstairs to make sure my son is still in his bed.
Right.
Because that was terrifying. And then we checked the footage from the doorbell camera, and a woman had been on our front porch first for half an hour, just staring at our front door.
Ooh.
Just standing on our porch, staring at our door. And then she started trying to open the door, and I guess our little door sensor thought when it jiggled it was opening. Yelling, "Let me in, let me in."
Ooh.
Oh, I hate that.
So my theory, because I do need to sleep at night, is that she was staying at the Airbnb across the street
and got drunk
got drunk because we are very close to several bars.
Yeah.
And, picked the wrong house to try to get into and was yelling for her friends to come and let her in. And that's what I'm going to continue telling myself, because any alternative is terrifying. And then I felt so bad. I was like, I'm so sorry, baby dog. You were trying your best.
You were doing your job.
Sure we were okay.
I mean, like that very much did happen to my sister and her roommates at their old house back when she lived in Lexington. One of her friends, Trishy. It's always Patricia.
Okay.
It's always Patricia.
One day it's going to be Marion, and all have guessed wrong.
Well, Marion had the time she had to evacuate her apartment because of the SWAT team.
Yeah. Who hasn't lived in an apartment that had a SWAT team hit it? That happened to us.
But someone, her friend's boyfriend forgot to lock the door when they came in from the night, and a drunk dude walked into their house, was staring at my sister in her sleep.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
And my sister is 5'2", maybe, very
on
tiny,
a good day.
Very tiny woman. And she and her equally tiny roommate chased this guy out of their house. Turns out he peed on their front door rug. He was very drunk.
Yeah.
He was very drunk. They were freaked out. They're like, we're going to go to Walmart and buy guns. And I'm really glad that they failed at that mission because I don't trust my sister with firearms. But the next day, they found the guy sitting in the yard next door to them crying. They were like, hey, buddy, you
guy
okay?
Who was in our house?
Well, because my sister had woken up because she heard him crying. And was like, is this so-and-so? You know, thinking it's one of her roommates upset, like, boyfriend troubles or whatever. He goes, no, it's John.
It's like, I don't know a John. Yeah.
So they're like, are you John? So they let him in. They gave him toast. They let him charge up his phone. He slept in a neighbor's car and couldn't contact any of his friends because his phone was dead. He'd stolen all of their Halloween candy.
The breakfast of champions.
Well,
toast and Halloween candy. Yeah.
He's like, I just woke up in this car and I don't know where I am and my pockets are full of candy wrappers.
Oh my God.
So my sister was able to reunite this poor strange boy with his friends. She lived very near UK's campus.
Yeah, we lived the one year we had a basement apartment in a college town. We had like an inset patio that was kind of inset into the ground, and like we lived in a big apartment complex. People were on that like knocking on our door, like trying to like if we had the door open, like they would like walk into our house like at least once a week. It was
No.
That's college towns. And yeah, after that I've never lived on the first floor of an apartment again.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably significantly scarier if it happens while you're like it was usually while we were awake and watching TV. I imagine it's like significantly less funny and significantly scarier if it happens while you're asleep.
Yeah, it's one of those stories that was scary when it happened, but now it's haha funny trauma.
Yeah. It's like we made it and nothing bad happened, so we can laugh now.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So it's like, oh, that would be like a fun series of reaction videos of like Ghost or Home Invader. I think we hit on a new series, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah. I feel like you have to add a third category in there because cats.
Yeah, ghost cats for home invaders.
Because like my cat pops cabinets open with his clever little feeties.
Probably just fold that into pets.
Yeah.
Is it your pet? Is it
your pet?
Listen. I can't words.
Look, my Shively doesn't come out until I've had more bourbon. So
mine just comes out when I talk really fast.
No, I definitely start sounding like my great grandma when I have a few drinks, and she was from Harlan, Kentucky, and it slips right back in.
Yeah, I get weird that way because like my dad's family is from West Virginia and my mom's family is from Boston, so I vacillate between two very different grandmothers when I start to talk very fast.
Yeah. I have been informed I have a friend who's from California originally, and they live outside of Boston now. And sometimes I get texts from them when they've been listening to the show, and they're like, Corinne, you and Amanda feed off of one another, and your accent gets stronger and stronger.
It's true.
And I was like, I do not have a strong Southern accent. And they're like, yeah, you do, honey.
It really takes someone from the north to tell you. You're like, okay, yeah I do. Yeah. So I work predominantly in like, and I never realized it, but like I do a lot of my field work in a Francophone country, and like they always say like my English is particularly hard to understand, and it's like even though I don't have a strong accent, I do draw my words together. Okay. So I think that's I think that's what it is. Like it's
I didn't have that experience when I was in France, but I also spent most of my time speaking French.
Mm-hmm.
Where mostly they'd be like, okay, I can tell you're not a native French speaker, but I don't actually know where you're from.
Yeah. Yeah, it's where I work, they're like trying to practice like the English for like
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like it's nice when we come because they can practice with us, but also it's like yeah. Apparently, I have like notoriously difficult English, which I guess like when you're learning from Europeans, it makes sense like because they're like a lot more
Mhm.
clipped than we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's interesting how accents work like that. Like, and you can kind of tell too. Like, I don't know if you've ever taken one of those accent. Like, it's like the regional test. Like, it basically asks you like a list of things, and it can pinpoint pretty accurately where you're from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I think mine was only off by like like 50, 80 miles where it put. Yeah,
I should take that.
yeah.
It's fun.
There's like a lot of like super regional
There-
things, like roundabout or traffic circle. Like I think traffic circle is like big in the south, roundabout up north, and things
Yeah.
like that
Oh.
that sort of divide. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
Do
that
you
trips me up
pronounce
is
pen differently?
yeah, caught and caught,
Yeah.
like CAUGHT versus COT. I
Caught.
do not differentiate between the two.
No, I don't differentiate between those either. Not at all. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it's caught and caught, pen, and Mary and Mary. And Mary.
What?
Marry, Merry.
Yeah, those are all the same words.
Yeah.
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 Apparently they're not. Apparently
Yeah,
certain
some-
accents say them
Some regional
completely
accents
differently.
have more differentiation than our regional accents do.
Yeah. It sort of makes sense because our regions are like so big that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my received pronunciation is not good. I mean, Amanda's played D&D with me. Like when I
I was
try to
about
do
to
a
say,
British
you're-
accent, it starts in England. I make it about 3 words, then it goes to Ireland through Jamaica and finishes in Australia. Like,
every time.
Every time.
Every time.
takes the same path across the Atlantic and then the
It
Pacific.
really
Beautiful.
does. You'll be monologuing for someone and
Yeah.
it shifts the whole time.
I cannot keep an accent. Like
I'm decent at accents, but if I'm trying to do British, my A's always end up very Australian. I cannot do
Yeah.
British A sounds.
Yeah. I can do Scottish if I've heard a Scottish accent like directly before I try it. But if it's been like any length of time, it's like I can't like remember the sounds. But yeah, any other sort of like Britishy accent, it's just no.
Yeah.
I get all of them. I think like the first time you guys ran into like some British speaking NPCs, like the joke was like the sun never sets on my accent.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
man. So are there any topics on y'all's upcoming slate that you're particularly excited about covering that you want to preview or
Several.
We've got some good ones.
Several.
Awesome.
I'm very excited. We've got plans to look more into the fairy tale side of folklore. And I'm really excited about how we're going to approach that. And
that's going to be a really fun
I think
one.
that'll be a good one. Don't want to give too much away on that.
That's all. Yeah, I'm a huge Tolkien nerd, and On Fairy Stories is one of my favorite essays ever written. Like, oh yeah, I'm really excited for that one. That's gonna be awesome.
I think we've got some fun stuff on the slate. I'm trying to pull up my notes from our last planning session, but of course my my notes program isn't opening. So
I know you were really excited about trees,
tree
like
lore,
folklore surrounding.
Cool.
Yeah, because you hear the old nursery rhymes and they're always talking about oak and ash.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, why do these keep coming up? Why are they important? I
Yeah,
don't
why
know
oak
this.
and
I want to know because I read way too much urban fantasy
Yeah.
for any one
yeah.
human being, and I need to know.
That's cool. I love when you guys. I think those are some of my favorite episodes that you guys cover when it goes to like more of the trying to think like how like the folklore and like the kind of occultism like intersects with the real world. Like that's been some of my favorite episodes. Like the the
You
occult
will
court cases
really
one
enjoy.
was awesome. Yeah.
You will really enjoy what we've got coming up at the beginning of February then. We just
Okay.
recorded
Yes.
a bonkers episode. There was a lot of there's a lot of energy in that one because you're doing another late night recording.
Okay.
And I had poured myself bourbon. And I poured
for the first episode we recorded.
And then I poured a second bourbon.
You guys might
I poured a third.
You guys might need to add some words below coffee on the logo.
Graveyard beverage talk.
I definitely started with a coffee stout.
Yeah. Though, speaking of, I will say for the alternate drinks, Corinne, it was a few episodes ago, but you had some tea, and I looked it up, and you've solved my Valentine's Day for me, so I appreciate that. Yay! Yeah. They have a bunch of really nice sets on that site.
I really like tea, and I like it when I can talk about local tea companies and like little indie shops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We've got a new tea shop with handmade blends opening up just down the street from me, hopefully in a couple months. They're already actually doing custom blends for the horror bookstore we were talking about earlier.
Cool.
Like they've got Rosemary's Baby blend, Frankenstein's Monster blend, and I'm blanking on the other ones right now.
I know what you're talking about. They've got some fantastic. It's a place called Siscott Tea.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually founded by someone who also went to Bellarmine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ariel Clark went to Bellarmine, and the stated goal is to open a queer sober space, especially for POC queer people. So I know like one of the goals is to like have hair braiding classes run out of there. Or at least that's what Ariel was talking about when first ideating Siscott Tea.
Like making it kind of like a full-on community space that doesn't revolve around like a bar. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that we're getting more of those in Louisville because like we've got the Louisville Coffee Co-op here in town that's open 24 hours on the weekends. So you can have a non-bar space to go.
And also get coffee super late if you're one of those people like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, their coffee is really good. It's so good.
It's so good.
Nice.
Ooh, maybe I'll go work from there this week.
Do it.
We just I'm a little jealous because like our only good so we have a problem in Roanoke where like we have like a sort of like all-encompassing regional chain and it's not that good and there aren't that many like local spots that aren't part of that. So like the only place I really like to get coffee is like 25 minutes away from my house. But it is near the mountain where me and the dog go hiking. So we went this morning and they also love him in there, which is like a nice bonus when you can like take the dog in and hang out and stuff. Yeah, it's if anyone's in Roanoke, Sweet Donkey Cafe in Roanoke is fantastic. I highly recommend it. Especially if you're tired. Huh?
I can walk to so many shops from our house.
Yeah, same.
We've got the play cafe, like the little kid play cafe down the street. You can also just pop in and get coffee, and it's a local roast bean. There's Quills. There's a Starbucks right at the end of my street. Right across the street from the Starbucks, there's a new Turkish coffee.
Ooh,
I think you're right.
Nice. Turkish coffee is so good.
Is that open yet?
No. I pass by it every day on my walk. And
I want to go to there.
One day you'll be open.
I want to go to there.
And then, we'll have the tea shop.
There's Synergos. There's Heine
Synergos
Brothers.
You guys do Synergos a lot from what I hear at least.
We do Heine Brothers because Heine Brothers has a drive-through.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But there's also a Synergos really close to Corinne's house, and that's where we record.
Okay.
And Synergos has won Best National Espresso several times. So they are really good. And I was going to say something, but that was going to get too political and I'm going to stop. So going to be good. But
Yeah. Our issue just with like the sort of big local chain is like it got big like before Starbucks kind of spread and made coffee kind of popular. So like it kind of monopolized all the spaces, and it has the same issue Starbucks does of like they saw how Starbucks burned their coffee, and then they were basically just like, "Hey, hold my flamethrower." It's like so much worse than even it's.
So dark roasts are just easier to do consistently. So I get why bigger chain coffee shops do that.
Yeah.
Because, it's an easy way to guarantee if you get coffee at location X, it's going to taste
Then it
exactly
tastes
the same as at another location. I get it. I don't appreciate dark roasts. You get less caffeine that way.
Yeah, which has always surprised me, but I guess it kind of like,
Well, you're roasting out all of those oils. And
those good chemicals.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know. I like, to be pretentious for a second, I like being able to, taste whether a coffee is fruitier or whether it has, more like chocolatey notes in it.
No,
I just like coffee.
No, I think that's fair. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like I will drink anything from like instant coffee to like, ooh, let me try this like artisanal espresso. It's like I'd prefer better stuff, but if it's not available, I'll drink whatever. Yeah. No, but so if you're ever in Louisville, go to one of their recommendations. If you're ever in Roanoke, Sweet Donkey Cafe. It's great, and they love dogs. So that's
See, that's a thing I don't have. I don't have a coffee shop near me that I can take the dog into.
I found this because it was on the way home between the dog park and the apartment where we used to live, and it was the winter, so the first couple times I stopped, I would leave him in the car, and then like one time I was in there because I would just go in and get coffee real quick and go back out. And then like one time when I was in there, I saw they had like a Pets Welcome sticker, and I was like, how serious are you about that? Are there any sort of limitations or
let me test your rules.
Yeah. But no, they love him. Like they're always like so good to him and stuff. So
that's because Kurtuffel's a good boy.
Yeah. He will not leave until he gets a pup cup, even if they're busy. Like I'm stuck there till they're not busy anymore.
Baby boy.
It's what he deserves.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
All right.
Cool. Well, to finish off, I gave everyone a homework assignment to give you guys a little bit of a idea. I was trying to match sort of like the kind of thing they do to give you an idea of what their podcast is like, so you can go listen to it after you are done here. But to find a cryptid that's not like one of the big ones, like maybe a sort of lesser known one. I can go first since it was my idea. That only seems
do it.
Go for
it. Yeah, so I got this great book. I think I've showed it before, but it's called Hood Eggs, Bildads, and Squonks. And what it is, it's not really a unique book on its own. It's a sort of combination of two older cryptid manuals or like cryptid bestiaries, you might call them, from like the 1910s to the 1930s that are out of print. So it'll go through awesome. And it moved all it copied in all the lithographs, and for each it'll post like the I think the two it combines. I had it open where
I'm gonna bet one of them is Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods.
Yes,
because that's the I'm William also Cox. Citing from something from that. You might have already covered it, and that's okay because I have a backup just in cases.
No, that's okay. On three, which one? One,
squonk.
Two. Okay. No, I did not. Sorry. I purposely did not do the squonk. I got a different one, so we're good.
You totally said we were going to do it on three, and I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now because I'm excited.
One squonk. Yeah, the other one is.
He's super interested in the squonk, though.
Yeah, I do. That is the next story. Because so for those of you who don't know, Jimmy writes most of our stories. I just do the readings. But the next one I'm writing is the squonk. So you guys will get a preview today. But though I was trying not to double dip myself. So I picked the other super cute one from that book, which actually no, it's from the other book, the one by Henry Tryon. It's the Axe Handle Hound. So I will show the picture on the. It's very cute. It's like a little dog with an axe-shaped head and an axe in his mouth. But from the book by Henry Tryon, the bane of supply and depot camps. Northern logging operations has a head shaped like a PV axe. The body is slender and axe handle shaped with short, stumpy legs. Looks a good deal like a dachshund, but really bears a closer resemblance to BB Bickford's bureau dog. And I really appreciate in like these old sort of bestiaries how I don't know how much any of you have read kind of older natural history volumes. I have to a decent bit for work. They start kind of sounding like one of those before they steadily go a little off the rails. So I get a big kick out of reading them. But they continues, distinctly a nocturnal prowler, frequents the camps after nightfall hunting for axe and PV handles, of which it is voracious fond. One hound has been known to consume 2 boxes of DB handles and 16 6-foot PV stocks in one night's eating.
Sounds
They
like
make
getting my
nice
Pat Patrick.
pets, but are costly to feed. Jim Peters once tamed one. No context on who Jim Peters is. I guess everyone knows.
He tamed the axe hound.
He tamed the axe handle hound, yeah, this is true. That was short-sighted because Jim had a wooden leg made of an axe helve. The only way he could keep his leg whole was to wear it to bed. But he got rid of the pup by feeding it red oak handles, which it dislikes as heartily as any experienced chopper.
Buddy.
And a lot of these, like, the books call it like logging lore. Like it's like a different, yeah. They seem to have. They seem to generally have been like made up around the campfire. It says for a lot of them, like there's not like a lot of like folklore background to them before they're really first, and there's not really any sightings before they're really first published. I just like to think it was like a bunch of drunk loggers around the fire and they accidentally threw all the axe handles in, and every time that happened they were like, it was the axe handle hound, our bad, wasn't us. I'm not sure if that's exactly what happened, but it's my headcanon.
So logging lore like that, told around campfires is actually where we get Paul Bunyan from as well.
Yeah. Which I stand Babe the Blue Ox. I know some folklorists have problems with him, but yeah.
No, he was just a little baby in the snow.
Yeah.
He was just a little baby.
Just a little boy.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I can. Oh, Jimmy, you can go first.
Okay. Have you guys ever heard of the Virginia devil monkey?
No,
I can't say I have.
These sightings occurred in where Phil's from, actually. I read about the Virginia devil monkey in Monsters of Virginia and Mysterious Creatures of the Old Dominion by L.B. Taylor Jr. The first sighting, very close to where Phil's from, happened in 1994. A woman was driving through Southwest Virginia in the Roanoke area one stormy night. She was on her way to Outer Banks in North Carolina. She was delayed a bit by having to take a detour through a 2-lane road south of Roanoke, Virginia. She described the area as being very dark and remote. The time was about 2:30 in the morning when suddenly a creature leapt across the road and in front of her car. The creature then walked off, not seeming to notice the woman in the car. She described the creature as having a wolf hybrid type monkey wolf hybrid type body, and it was covered with short, sleek black fur, and it stood on its hind legs. It was about 6 feet tall, had pointy ears, and a flat snout. and it had a long, thin tail. She also noted that it was very muscular and thin. And then shortly after this sighting, there were a couple of other sightings, and then some cattle and people's pets started going missing. And then a couple in Shawsville, which is not super far from Salem.
No, and it's down the same road that she would be taking to the Outer Banks too, if she was going by the old. What year was it? Was it before the interstate system?
1994.
Okay, no, so the interstates
Hey,
were there.
you were alive.
Oh yeah,
then in the area. But a couple in Shawsville heard some kind of commotion on their farm, and they went to go check it out, and they saw something that just fit this description, and after they saw it, it scurried off, and they couldn't find their German Shepherd, and they never saw it again after this.
Poor dog.
Oh no.
See,
I don't like when the cryptids take dogs.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
I don't think the cryptids care what you like, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Phil.
Apparently, I had never heard of it, but there's been devil monkeys seen all over the United States in several different areas. But I thought this one was interesting because it was so close to Phil.
When you mentioned it, I had like a Fiji mermaid in my head, and it was wildly different than that.
My brain just kept going to Planet of the Apes went werewolf. Like, that's what it sounds like.
That's more like what it sounds like.
Oh no, I'm just thinking somebody's pet capuchin monkey got out because those things are way too smart.
Yeah, they're mean.
I don't like them.
You want to know the unsettling thing? There are two ways from Southwest Virginia to get to the Outer Banks. Interstate 81 to Interstate 64. And then U.S. Route 460. Guess what two roads I live right between?
Both.
Yeah, U.S. Yeah, my neighborhood comes off U.S. Route 460, and we're about a mile from the exit to 81.
Okay, so what you're telling us is you're going to be ready to get a picture if one comes by.
Yeah, and I'm also going to
finish the Appalachia field trip out there one day.
Yeah. Put a ring camera in my backyard. Yeah. We'll see. We'll have a devil monkey versus Kurtoffel. Or I'll just finish my privacy fence.
No, I'll take Arthur out there. He'd kill it.
He's protective. In our old apartment, and this is the dog. He's not a mean dog. This is the dog who, when he sees a rabbit in our yard, he will run after it with his tail wagging and then cry when it goes into a hole because he wanted to play with it. And it thought it wanted. So he's a very nice dog. But in our old apartment, like, I was standing on a hill kind of overlooking, like, we lived a little bit out into the county. And I see, like, what I thought were just deer. Just, like, four kind of, like, glowy eyes. And, like, this was right when he was a year old. So, like, I see him, like, get between me and that and just start these really, like, loud, deep warning barks. And I'm like, buddy, like, we see deer every night. Like, what's going on? And I kind of look back. I'm like, those are a little low for deer. And then, like, I see one turn and I see, like, a big furry tail, like, swish. It was, like, 4 coyotes, and he knew. And he was, as good-natured as he is, he's also very protective. So.
Oh, dear.
I'd bet on him over the devil monkey. But I don't want it to have to happen, so I might just finish my privacy fence.
Yeah.
You still haven't finished that?
No, I was gone too much this year.
No, yeah.
I mean, he didn't. So the reason we were thinking about doing it early was because there's, like, one spot on our fence that's really low, but he doesn't really jump. He just walks up to it, and he's gone up to it and not gone over when there was a 6-year-old on the other side. Which, if it was going to happen at any time, it was going to happen then. So, yeah, I'm not worried.
I just can't picture it.
Yeah.
See, still worried about what's going to climb into your yard from it.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No devil monkeys. We'll have to you do, like, some apple vinegar and, like, red pepper, like, you keep deer away around the maybe burn some incense along with that. We'll go with the witchcraft and like the farmer's knowledge.
Volcano ghosts.
Yeah, we'll cover both our bases.
Exactly. It's called being thorough.
Exactly.
Which building a fence wouldn't be, I guess.
Just do all three. All three.
Yeah.
There you go.
I solved the problem.
Cool. All right. Amanda,
go next. Yeah. So I had never heard of these buddies before. I am covering the river dinosaurs, also known as the river lizards, which I prefer because it just flows. And I got my information from mysteriousuniverse.org and cryptids.fandom.com. Had never heard of these before, and I love it. So sightings of these buddies are mostly centered in the four corner states, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah. But there have been
place
reported...
where they call creeks rivers?
Yeah.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, that's an odd place for a dinosaur.
Though there have been reported sightings in Ohio, Texas, Georgia, and Kentucky.
Okay.
They are described as velociraptor-esque bipedal reptiles, about 3.5 feet tall, 5 to 7 feet long, nose to tail. In some reports, they have small wings, but the wings have their insertion points at the neck, not in the mid-back.
Huh.
Oh, wild.
And their front arms are supposed to be more like little T-Rex arms than fully functional.
Like this?
So they feel substantially less dangerous than a velociraptor would.
I'm wondering about the anatomical purpose of having the wings at the... That just doesn't sound very stable.
I have a scientific explanation, is that because that's where a lot of actual dinosaurs were back in the Cretaceous. Maybe like a few velociraptors, or like from the Triassic or whenever it was, maybe a few velociraptors survived and they're just super inbred now. That's kind of what
babies.
You know what?
Messed up babies.
I will believe that. I will believe that. So from what I could tell when I was doing my research, it's not known when the first sighting was. The earliest that I could find was the recollections of a woman from Colorado who stated that when she was a child in the 1930s, she saw 5, she's assuming young, bipedal dinosaurs. A couple of weeks after spotting them, a local farmer shot a 7-foot-long dinosaur after it killed several of his sheep.
I hate that.
She says that the dinosaurs were grayish in color with, quote, chicken feet, and that they were covered in fine gray hairs.
Oh, I don't think I like that, Amanda.
I don't either.
And the neck
feathers,
wings, along with the...
with the neck wings and hairs, I'm not vibing.
That does not spark joy. You need to eat that.
So in 1982-ish, a couple in Arizona found a reptile carcass that they couldn't identify. No wings reported on this one. And if it was one of these river lizards, it must have been a juvenile because it didn't fit the size description. It was a little smaller. And at first, the couple thought that it was like a child's toy. Until they got up close and the bones looked real.
Oh.
And then allegedly several river dino skeletons have been shipped to various museums in Colorado throughout the years. But we either don't have records of alleged shipments, or in the case of a delivery in the 1960s, the skeletons were proven beyond a doubt to be a hoax. But reports of these lizards are still coming in today.
Wild.
And again, not just out west, but you've got reports in Ohio, in Texas, in Georgia, in Kentucky. There was one listed from Oklahoma. So who knows?
Wow.
All right. Weird.
I
don't like it.
That's crazy. That might be like one of the genuinely like oddest creatures I've ever heard described.
Yeah, the wings and the neck thing just stuck with me when I was reading it.
And the fine gray hairs, I hate that.
That doesn't, because that's if you're a vertebrate, right? And the wing point is at your neck, then it's putting like you're hanging yourself every time you fly. That's putting so much stress on your vertebrae.
Well, there are no reports of them flying. So what purpose do the wings serve?
The wings serve, yeah.
Unless, I guess,
maybe for mating? Like as a mating display?
Yeah, like the bearded lizards.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Either that or some way to deal with the heat of the desert.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That does.
You know, extra
I hate it.
capillaries.
I don't like this, Amanda.
Well, that is what I bring to our partnership on this podcast, Corinne.
That is the dynamic.
This is, anybody wondering what it's like to listen to an episode of Graveyard Coffee Talk? I speak English great. This is accurate. This is show accurate. Down to and including me not
so
being
accurate
able to
and show accurate
any of this.
Ooh, Mystery Syndicate said deflective to predators. I could see that, making your head look bigger so you're a more imposing target.
Or just have more stuff to grab around the neck, because that's why a lot of big dogs like those, like molossaur
have
all the extra skin.
Yeah.
It's like you can't get to anything important in the neck.
Oh yeah, the spitting lizards from Jurassic Park. God.
Yeah, it's like when was the first sighting? 1993. Okay.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. All right, Corinne, take us home.
All right. So, because I was worried about possibly stepping on other people's toes, y'all pick. I've got the squonk or the Volpertinger.
Ooh, I like both. I've loved the Verpeltinger since like that was the coolest pet you could get in Vanilla World of Warcraft. But I also like the Squonk is like my current cryptid obsession. So those you've literally hit two of my favorites.
I'm voting the Squonk personally.
Okay. Yeah, I'll vote the Squonk then to make it unanimous.
Both of these because they do both have connections to modern day science, which I think is really cool. So the Squonk is as we were talking about a little bit earlier, from Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods, published in 1910. So we're pretty sure this guy's 100% made up. And he's so ugly, and he's so sad about being ugly. Like he's a sad little boy. He lives in Pennsylvania in the forests and is mostly crepuscular or nocturnal. Apparently it is easier to track them in the light of the full moon. But part of that is because he cries all the time. He's so sad. He has terrible body image. He really needs some therapy. His skin doesn't fit him right, and it's all like wrinkly and covered in warts. So he's just really self-conscious about it.
Baby.
And according to Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods, hunters who are good at tracking are able to follow a squonk by its tear-stained trail, for the animal weeps constantly. When cornered and escape seems impossible, or when surprised and frightened, it may even dissolve itself into tears.
Yeah.
You can't capture him because he gets too sad. And he'll go away.
See, that picture makes it look like a dog with mange.
It's like a exactly. That's no, I definitely. So next time we stream, you guys will see a stuffed one sitting right here. I ordered it off of Etsy.
Amazing.
Yes.
Working on building out like the background.
I love that. So what I love most though is that the squonk is a term used in chemistry to describe chemicals that can appear stable in other solutions or in the quote unquote wild, but when isolated or captured, begin to decompose or depolymerize, aka melt away. So those are called chemical squonks.
Which came first, the squonk or the squonk?
That's a great question. What does Wikipedia tell me?
Yeah. That's cool. I didn't know that.
I'm going to guess that the actual squonk, Lacrimocorpus dissolvens, I love its scientific name.
Yeah.
It came first.
Eeyore of cryptids.
Yes.
It is Eeyore of cryptids.
Yeah.
But like, okay, yeah. So chemical squonks were first mentioned in 2000.
Okay, so they definitely that was on purpose.
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
For
that's
sure.
awesome.
And I just
That's really
because I
awesome.
saw that bit about chemical squonks and I was like, I have to do this. Also, my husband is also very obsessed with squonks.
Mhm.
And every now and again, he's like, Corinne, I want to go on your show and I want to talk about squonks. Like, probably once a month, I get a request to come on the show and talk about squonks.
That's
Can we
awesome.
just record him talking about squonks as
Just
like
a monologue.
Instagram reels?
Yeah.
And then I've got my Instagram content.
Kinda, yeah.
Done.
Well, so I bought some new mics for us because I was like, I'm gonna like set up a proper 2-mic setup so we're not just sharing one mic when we record in person.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, give the squonk some Zoloft. Sorry, I get distracted. I was setting it up and I was like, okay, Hunter, I'm gonna test this. Do you want to come and just talk about the squonk while I've got this 2-mic setup going? He's like, no, I have to research it first. I want to do it right. And then it turned out the mics I bought, I should not have cheaped out on because they do not work with the audio interface that I bought.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see if maybe my sister's school that she works at wants them, and then buy some better mics.
Would U of L let you guys record there, like in their media center? Since
don't
you're
know.
both alumni,
I have no idea.
I would
Neither
imagine
of
they
us are
would.
alumni.
No.
Oh,
Of U
oh,
of L.
okay, never mind. Oh, yeah, I'm just thinking of, I guess, everyone else you guys know.
Yeah.
What we could do though is because I will always talk up the Louisville Free Public Library.
Yes.
Is the regional libraries have maker spaces, and I know
Oh,
Northeast Regional has podcasting equipment. I'm not really sure how it works to book the space to use it, but also it's just kind of fun to sit around our house and
yeah.
But
It's always better to do things. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being an introvert, but if I can go to any lengths to not leave my house, I'm gonna do it.
Now, the Northeast Regional also has an in-house Quills coffee.
Nice.
See,
That's a good feature for a library.
A temptation.
Yeah.
It's so my old apartment was like within walking distance. I couldn't quite walk it because I ran out of sidewalks and I really don't want to get hit by a car. And it's a lot of like busy roads. It's out where UPS has their headquarters now.
Yeah.
So
Which means so much to anyone else on this street.
I was like, UPS headquarters in Roanoke, it's out by the airport, because I'm just like, you guys mean headquarters, not
yeah,
like
they
the
built like
depot.
I remember when they were building that because my best friend's house used to be over that way. Her house isn't there anymore. It's an apartment complex now. I'm heartbroken. My childhood has been paved over.
They put up a parking lot.
They freaking did though.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hope you all are haunted by the memories of my childhood.
Don't it always seem to go?
I hate
that.
I
won't do it anymore.
I don't believe you, Phil.
No.
You shouldn't.
But yeah, that is something we could check out. But probably what I'll do is just next paycheck, I'll be like, oh, look, I can go buy some new microphones.
Nice.
And,
I can also chip into that.
Yeah, next time I'm not going to buy the $30 mics. I'm going to buy the nice mics.
That's a good plan.
Who knew?
And then your Windows driver won't let them work, which is why I'm recording on a headset today.
I had to update all my drivers when I installed the audio interface that I bought.
Yeah, I don't understand because, and this is probably neither here nor there, it worked when we recorded stories. When was that, Jimmy? Tuesday? Wednesday? Something like that? And it didn't work today. So who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Computers. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Do you want to tell everyone where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having us. So you can find us on Twitter for as long as Twitter stays around, at Talk Coffee.
Nope, Talk Graveyard.
Talk Graveyard. I know. Corinne, take it away. Don't trust me.
Okay, you can find us at Talk Graveyard on Twitter, at Graveyard Coffee Talk Are we Graveyard Coffee Talk Pod on Instagram?
You are.
I don't know what our Instagram handle is.
I know nothing. Let me check my notes. Yeah.
You can email us at graveyardcoffeetalkpod@gmail.com, and we do respond. We're really nice.
Yes.
And their website's linked in the description of this.
Yes.
Yeah, the website is graveyardcoffeetalkpod.com. It's a little special. I am hoping to revamp it in the coming year because
but there are some outtakes in the bonus content tab.
Yeah, I like that.
Outtakes, yelling at the cat, show notes.
And our research is always linked in the show notes on the site. So if you ever hear something and you're like, I'd like to read a little more, you can always go through, find our research.
Yeah. Check if your library has JSTOR because we use a lot of JSTOR.
Okay.
If you can't find something and it's something that we've linked on our site, email me because 9 times out of 10 I've got the PDF saved in my computer.
Has green literature, gray literature, I forget what that's called, where you just email PDFs to each other. One of those, it's green or gray.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. Mothmister says she loves Amanda's hair and Corinne's glasses.
Aww.
No, she says that she has my hair and Corinne's glasses.
Oh, I can't read.
By our powers combined, she's the coolest person.
Yeah. She's y'all's fusion dance.
Gosh, that would save so much time.
Yeah. Oh. Awesome. Well, thank you guys again so much for coming. If you enjoyed the stream, please, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all the YouTube stuff, and we'll see you all next time. Take it easy.
Yeah.